In this session we'll take a look at copying into nested structures. If you're not already in the MO3-L08 working copy, then change directories so that your current working directory is the root of the MO3-L08 working copy. We've already looked at basic copying of files and directories. We've always been copying to target directories that already exist within working copies. In this example, we're attempting to use the cp command, short for the copy command, to copy the copy_dir directory, which is an existing working copy, into a new directory structure called nested directory example. The point about this is that none of the directories nested directory or example exist within the working copy. So when we run this command, the Subversion client informs us that nested directory is not a directory, meaning that it doesn't exist anywhere in our working copy. Let's use the operating system command makedir to create that directory structure. So what we've done here is we've created the directories nested directory and example in our working copy. So surely when we attempt the copy now, there can be no complaint that the nested directory example doesn't exist. After all, we've just created it. However, now the Subversion client informs us that the nested directory example is not a working copy. So now, rather than saying that the directories don't exist, it's telling us that the directories exist, but they're not working copies. Since the copy command can only copy into an existing working copy directory, the Subversion client reports a problem. One obvious way around this problem is to use the Subversion make directory command that we looked at earlier to turn the nested directory example structure into working copy directories. This can be done very simply, even with an existing directory structure, by specifying the parents option to the Subversion makedir command. The output of this command confirms the fact that we've now added nested with a subdirectory directory, which itself has a subdirectory example. So as you can see in the demonstration area of the working copy on the right, we now have the structure nested directory example, each of the directories with the A next to them showing that they're scheduled for addition. This means that the Subversion client can now treat them as versioned objects. Repeating the same copy command as we've been trying throughout this example now succeeds. The Subversion client sees the nested directory example structure as being a legitimate part of the working copy. Consequently, the copydir command can now add the copydir into the example directory. A simple directory listing, looking at the last elements of our nested directory structure, show that copydir has indeed been copied into nested directory example. And looking at the extended information reported by the info command, we can see that the copy_dir that we're looking at in our nested example directory structure shows that it was copied from the URL trunk copydir, and it was copied from revision 22, the revision that was last updated in this working copy. Rather than committing this structure, let's undo it using the revert command. Again, we're using revert with a depth of infinity, this time on the new nested directory we've just created, in order to remove all the scheduled additions. Then we'll remove the whole nested directory structure so we can effectively start again. So looking at the directory listing for the top level of our working copy, we can see we have copy_dir, but we have no nested subdirectory structure. This copy command is effectively going to perform the same tasks as we just have, but all in one command. So, by specifying the parents option to the copy command, we're telling the copy command to create and add any intermediate directories that are necessary. We're copying the copy_dir directory into a nested directory example copydir. None of these directories exist in the current working copy, of course. The parents option causes the Subversion client to create them on the fly as part of the copy operation. And the output of the copy command confirms exactly this. We can see that the first three items in the output of the command confirm the addition of nested directory example. Only after these three directories are created is the final step taken of copying the copy_dir into the new location. We can confirm that we've got exactly the same result as before using the info command on the copy_dir that we've just created. And sure enough, there it is, the copied from URL showing the copy from trunk copy_dir, revision 22, and the URL and repository route are identical to the previous example. There's an important issue to be raised here when using the copy command, and particularly when using copy with the parents option. When you copy a directory, or a file for that matter, to a target that does not exist, then the file or directory is copied to that target. So in the previous example, we copied copy dir to nested directory example copy dir. We put the copy dir on to the target. In this example, we're copying copy dir into another nest directory example. Now, like the first example, another nest directory example does not yet exist. The results of this command are that we create a directory called example, not a directory called copy dir. The copy command has copied to the non-existent directory. We can show the details of what happened as a result of this copy command using the status command. You can see the addition of another nest directory, and the copy with history, as indicated by the plus in column 4, of the another nest directory example. And confirming that it was the copy dir that's been copied, we can take the info command and apply it to the example directory. You can see the copied from URL is trunc copy dir. So when the copy target does not exist, the copy command acts as a copy to command. For this next example, we're going to use the Subversion make dir command to prepare a directory structure. So we're going to create another directory structure, this time called yet another nest, with a directory inside it called directory, with a directory inside that called example. So we run the command and we see the 3 directories are now scheduled to be added. They're therefore considered to be versioned items. So when we run the next Subversion copy command, even though we've specified the parents option, the yet another nest directory example already exists. The outcome of running this command is that we add a directory copy dir into the existing example directory. We can confirm this by looking at the output of the Subversion status command on yet another nest. Looking at the output of this and comparing it to the previous example, you can see that in this case we have a scheduled add for the yet another nest directory, a scheduled add for the directory within that, and a scheduled add for the example within that directory. And finally we have the add with history for the copy dir. Running a Subversion info on the yet another nest directory example, this time reports that we've got an ordinary add. That's because we created the example directory using the svn make dir. Checking the info on the copy dir within it shows us the copied from URL that we were seeking. So, it's very important when using the copy command to understand that when you copy to a target directory that exists, the copy command acts as a copy into. When you issue a copy command to a target directory that does not exist, the copy command acts as a copy to. This works equally with files and directories.